Hello and welcome to Mythical Meeples. Today we'll be unboxing Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol, Adeptus Mechanicus. This combat patrol contains 15 miniatures. The first of these miniatures is a Tech Priest, which you can see up here. You also get 10 Skitarii, which you can build either as Rangers or as Vanguard. 3 Cataphron Destroyers, which you can also build as Cataphron Breachers, and an Onager Dunecrawler. This gives a solid core of troops with which to build your army from, but also gives you a good choice to expand an existing army. So if you need more troops, you've got the Rangers and the Cataphrons. You've got a heavy support choice in the Onager Dunecrawler. So let's take a look inside the box. So inside we get an instruction booklet. This will contain the rules on the back here and the instructions for building the different units. You've got a list of all of the sprue components and the different bases inside. Instruct sort of what the different colours mean and symbols. So first up you have the Tech Priest. So Tech Priest looks very straightforward to build. Only 7 pieces make it up. And it's pretty much body, a few accessories, and then arms and the backpack. You can see here the Skitarii, Rangers and Vanguard. So the bodies are the same for the most part. You've got different heads on each of them, different arms as well. You can see you've got an option for a troop leader as well. So Skitarii Ranger, so you have the legs, you have the torso, which is comprised of 2 parts, and then you have different armor options. So you've got Taser Goad, Power Sword, Power Maul, and then 3 different pistol options, a couple different head options as well. So some of the Rangers give you different options. Here you can see you've got the standard Ranger, and then you've got the 2 different equipments here. And then you've got the different builds. So again, you've got legs, torso in 2 pieces and a backpack, got a head, and then you've got the different arms as well. You also have an option to build a Ranger with the larger rifle as well, which comes on the bike base. And you have a few special weapon options as well to go through, which you can see here and here. Again, the Rangers are very simple to build. Legs, torso, then arms and heads. And then you get 5 that you always have to build as standard Rangers. So you can see this is the variant for the Skitarii Vanguard. You've got them in green this time instead of blue to show the different parts. But again, it's pretty much exactly the same. The head's different here. You can see here you've got B121 and 122, which gives you these, and then you've got these for these extra equipment. Again, it's very similar. The gun is different. So Rangers and Vanguards carry different guns as standard, but the backpacks sort of the same. Again, got the options for the larger rifle. And your special weapons are again the same. And as before, you've got the 5 troops that you have to build in a specific way. Next up, we've got the Cataphron Breachers or Destroyers. So these are a lot more complicated to build. You've got the different parts that they're made up of here. So you've got just the base of the model. You've got 3 parts and then another few parts here to stick on the front of it. And it gives you a few sort of different variants as well. Then you've got another variant on the back here, so you can make all of your Cataphrons look vastly different. And this step is the same for both Cataphron Breachers and Cataphron Destroyers. And then you can see down here there's quite a few steps just required to build up the torso of the Cataphrone destroyers. So if you're new to building, you may find these a lot more challenging. Whereas if you've done a lot of modelling, it should be fairly straightforward, but they still take a little while to build, simply because there's so many parts. So you can see here you've got a couple different options for guns, so you can go for the flamer or not. And again, you've got the plasma culveron or the arc rifle, I believe it is. These are fairly straightforward. Sorry. You've got different claws though that you can stick on the bottom of them as well. Then you've got the breaches, so these are more heavily armoured versions. You get extra panels you can stick on the side. You've got these little bits that go on the top here. And again, the torso is made up of a lot of different parts. So these will probably take you quite a while to build. And they're all slightly different as well. Instead of a gun arm, these have claws on the left arm. You get two variants of these. One's just one piece, the other's made up of two pieces. And then again, you've got two different weapons. So you've got the torsion cannon and the grav cannon. Finally, we've got the Onager Doom Crawler. So you can see that again, this is a lot more complicated build. So if you're new, you'll want to start with the Tech Priest and the Rangers, and then move on to the Doom Crawler and Cataphrons. So you can see the legs and lower half of the body are made up of lots of different pieces. And then you just slowly build it up as you go. You've got options as well for the different guns. So you've got 4 different guns that you can give it, and different variants here. I'm sure if you're clever enough as well, you could probably magnetize these, so you could swap them out at will. Not sure if I'll be doing that or not yet. And here you can see the finished variants as well. Let's have a look at the sprues. Start with the Tech Priest. As we mentioned before, it's only a few pieces put together. They're quite well detailed. You can see the armour pieces, segmented armour. You've got the coils on the back here as well. You can see all the details on them. Very crisp cloak, or robe, sorry. You can see the little lenses in the head here. And it should be quite easy to clean up. You can see a few mould lines here. If you look just where my finger is. But they should be quite easy to clean up. There aren't too many of them on the model. Sort of see a few more here. But on the sort of main torso, they're not too bad. There's a bit on the head. Yeah, it's a really nice model. So you've got 3 pieces of sprue that make up the Rangers or Vanguard. You've got a lot of hit on here that you won't end up using. It's like here you've got the Ranger heads, and obviously you've got all the rifles and various weapons. It does look like they group together with the model that you build them with. So here you've got the robes and the legs, and then you can see the arms here as well. So you've got 41, 44, 43, 46, 48, 47, 45. So these all go together. You've got quite nice detailed robes. You've got various segments on the armour and also in the backpacks. You can see the coils once more. Got the different heads here, which you can see. They're not too bad on the mould line front either. Like, you can see them on the gun here, but they're quite thin and should be relatively easy to clean up. Got some very nicely detailed models here. mentioned, you can see the different heads here. So these are the ones for the Vanguard. So you've got sort of a domed head, whereas the Rangers have the hoods. So again, you've got more of the Vanguard heads here. So next up we have the Cataphrons. So you can see the sprues are very similar. You can easily make out which pieces are meant for what. So you've got the base of the Cataphron here. You can see the armor plates, the parts of the torso. You've got different gun segments. That's the back. More armor plating here. So you can see the gun. So this is the left arm gun. If you build the destroyers, got the plasma culverin over here. Got the flamer. You've got the claw. You can see the head here as well. These are really nicely detailed. Let's move those out of the way. So you can see even like the insides of the tracks you've got here. You can see the wheels. There's a bit of detailing on the inside which you're not going to see. Let's have a look and see what the mould lines are like. They don't look too bad. So if we look at the flamer, which is here, you can't make out much of a mould line on it. They are there but not very prominent. So you can see again, if we look at all the details, you've got the little ridges and the rivets on the armor plating. So yeah, these are really nice kits, but as I mentioned before, they are quite complicated to put together. There's a lot of pieces, although each bit goes in nicely. It's just very time consuming to build them. And finally, we have the Dune Crawler. So you can see here, this one's made of much larger pieces. You've got the leg segments down here. You've got the armor plating here. These are parts of the legs as well. You can see the main chassis of the Dune Crawler here and here. So yeah, they're really nicely detailed. You've got all the rivets on there again. So these are quite a common feature with the Adeptus Mechanicus. You can see, I think this is the underside at the top, but you can see how much detail there is on there. Oh, yeah, that's the top, and then you've got the underside here. But even so, you've got vents, you've got all sorts going on. Got the legs. They're quite clean models as well, so it might be sort of take a while to build, but the cleanup, you can just about make out the mold lines. It should be quite easy to clean up. Some sections as well just don't seem to really have mold lines on at all. You can see the sort of stubber here. Various different guns here. Again here, you've got the bigger guns. So yeah, really detailed kit. Looks like it should be good fun to build. And then finally in the bottom of the box, we've got the bases, and you've got a transfer sheet at the bottom here. So you've got white and black for so whatever colour scheme you decide to go for, you should be able to apply some transfers. Got the symbols of the Adeptus Mechanicus, warning sigils, Cataphrons, Skitari, Taraxi, Tech Priests, generic iconography, Cerberus Raiders, Millennia markings, so you can do a lot of different things with your vehicles and with your infantry as well, should you wish to. You've got the big base, 100mm for the Dune Crawler. You've got 60mm for the Cataphrons, 25mm for the Rangers. Bike base is for if you decide to pick that big rifle, and the Tech Priest gets a 32mm. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it helpful. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. This helps me grow the channel, helps me be seen, which means that in turn I can create more content for you as we get more viewers. As well, if you want to support me, you can become a member of Mythical Meeples, where you'll get access to extra content, sneak peeks, behind the scenes from me. You can alternatively become a Patreon to help support me as well, where you have a few different tiers to choose from. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.